Also in the RTE archives on GA Matters, this comment from the poet and controller of programmes Og O Ceallachain-on, an anecdote about and an evaluation of Micheal O'Hare.
Let me start with a negative comment. As someone who dearly loves speech and everything connected with the spoken word and the quality of voice and all that, I would not say that he has a first-class voice for broadcasting. But this was so diminished, this objection was so diminished by his enormous knowledge, his capacity to convey the excitement of a match, his total recall of previous performances and all that, and his rapport with the listening public, that you couldn't say anything about quality of voice. They disappeared in the overall performance. I remember once in Limerick, I had gone down to Limerick for a week's holiday. I had been working extremely hard and I wanted to rest, and I decided to go to Limerick because I hadn't been there for a long time. I checked into a hotel on the Ennis Road, and shortly afterwards, coming down the stairs, I saw Micheal booking in. And I must say that for a man whose name was virtually synonymous with sports commentary, and certainly easily one of the best known broadcasters, his demeanour was modest. There was no ostentation whatsoever. Then I discovered that there was an important GA match in the Limerick grounds, and not feeling like listening to the commentary for whatever length of time, an hour and a half, so on, I decided I would go into the city. I got a bus into the city and walked around, and everywhere I went, there was Micheal O'Hare's voice following me to the entire city. I might have known that. I was naive. I could get away.
Set straight in front of the goal. 5-14 to 11 points. Dick Carroll takes it and sends it over the bar. And now it's 5-5 to 17 points.
Og O Ceallachain-on remembering Micheal O'Hare. Also among the most celebrated broadcasters for decades was Og O Ceallachain-on, who in this interview with Harry Bradshaw outlined his family's role in bringing news of Gaelic games to Irish radio listeners, and how he himself won the role.
Gaelic Sports News. Here now is Og O Ceallachain-on to review some of today's Gaelic games. Another All-Ireland football final was decided today.
He was known as Sean Og because his predecessor was his father, Sean O Ceallachain.
So my father said he would collect the results, he would go into Radio Éireann and he would give the results written out for her.
He was gathering the results, collating them for the main announcer, Muircehartaigh Gráda.
And then she could give them at the end the news. So she did that for a while, but then if the news overran its time or ran later than she would have liked, she had to drop the results. So she didn't think that was a very good idea, doing it one Sunday and not having it the next Sunday. So then she said to my father, she said, you know, Sean, you have a good speaking voice, so why not give these out yourself? So she said, would you go into the studio there and I will listen to you. So he took his bit of paper with the results on, he went into the studio and he simply read the results. And she came out and she said, Sean, that was fine. What we will do is we will put the results on after the news and you can do them. And that's how it happened.
In the Connacht Championships Junior Hurling, Sligo beat Leitrim. Sligo 5-6, Leitrim 3-2.
Sean Og O Ceallachain-on was a lifetime total abstainer. This was not true of his father, and thereby hangs a tale.
One particular night, sitting in the Savoy, and you had to book your seats at that time, a little notice appeared on the screen. Would Sean O'Callaghan of Fairview go to the manager's office?
This was an emergency.
So that came as an awful shock to me because I thought something had happened to my father. And because it was about 9 o'clock and the film was on at the time. So I went to them immediately. Nobody else left their seats, but I was the only one that left the seat because I was the nearest to the person they wanted. And the manager said to me I was to ring home. So I rang home and my mother informed me that my father had spent too much time down in Gaffney's pub and that he was moggalore in every sense of the word, and she didn't think that he was capable of giving out the results. So I immediately left the Savoy, which was very handy because it was only across the road from Henry Street. And my fiancée then came with me, Anne. And I went in and I was met there by the chief announcer, who thought that my father wouldn't be able to go on and give the results coherently. That's the way he put it. And it would be far better if I would do the programme. And my father at the time didn't seem to worry about it. He said, oh, he's able to do it, he kept saying. So that particular night, I went on and I did the results. And the excuse given that he wasn't very well. And that was to happen a couple of times again, that he wasn't available to go into the job and do the job. And I was called upon now and again from cinemas where I was attending to go into Radio Éireann and do the job. However, and from that particular Sunday onwards, I did the programme, and that was 1953. And breakfast of the day, I am still doing that programme.
The late Og O Ceallachain.